everybody, Tim Norris here, aka GreyElephant.
And Kermit Norris.
And welcome to our end of the year wrap up of 2015, our top games that we enjoyed most from 2015.
Yes, I would have to say, I just don't even recall any games that we had this year to where I was like, oh, I just really don't want to play this one. I mean, all of them, we've pulled them out and looked at them and we're like, man, this was a great year.
It was.
Excellent games.
And unlike a lot of people who like to do their top 10, we like to just talk about all the games that we enjoyed. We've done top 10s in the past, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, we've just kind of...
It's really difficult. I mean, a lot of the games, it's just going to depend upon... I tend to prefer Euro games. It's not really fair for me to put, my top 3 are all Euro games when other people might prefer a different type.
Oh, no, I think that's perfectly fine if you wanted to. It's just,
it makes it difficult for me to make a top 10, I guess, because I think of that.
Yeah, and I understand that. And I guess for me, it's just I like to talk about all the games that I enjoyed of 2015, and I think that's what we're going to do. So we've got 19 games that we've got out here, and we're going to just probably have to just dive straight into this.
The point is, did we enjoy it?
Well, yeah, that's
the whole
just
point,
it.
Right?
And, the thing is that sometimes you can do a video early in the year, and then it comes around towards the end of the year. Well, is it still as enjoyable? Well, yeah, we're going to discuss that a little bit. And speaking of that, why don't we start with one of our very first games we did at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And that was Fallen by Watchtower Games. Now, this was a Kickstarter game that was sent to us, and it's only a 2-player game. We did a video on this where I was the Overlord and you was the hero.
Yeah.
And we had an absolute phenomenal time with this game.
As soon as this game comes out and he mentions it, you can tell by my expression. I love it. I still love it. I have fond memories playing it, and I really want to play as the Overlord still. I haven't gotten that chance yet.
Maybe your evilness is not evil! The cool part about this game is that it is very reminiscent of a choose-your-own-adventure style book.
Yes.
And you're going to be choosing, the path that you're going to take as the hero, and good things will happen, bad things will happen, and challenges are going to be a bit more difficult for you to try to overcome in certain areas. So
this is a role-playing game. You're choosing to upgrade your character one way or another, so you do have important choices to make besides the choose-your-own-adventure type deal. And the flavor text is just amazing. Yeah,
and then there's also the element of luck, because there are dice involved whenever you deal with the combat and such. But, when we did the video on this, I said it would be in my... at that time, I said that, we have our first contender of Top Game of the Year.
You were right.
And I was right. It still stuck with us. We still enjoy it. And this is going to be one that's going to stay in our collection. So, Fallen by Watchtower Games. Yeah, you are one of our top games of the year. Congratulations. We absolutely still love this game. So, which one you want to grab next?
I'm going to grab the first game that came to mind when Tim said, we're going to make a top 10 video. And that is Viceroy.
Mm-hmm.
I love this game.
That's right.
I love the strategy. You're building a pyramid of cards.
Oh, it's your pyramid of power.
A pyramid of power.
That's what it says on the box.
Yes.
Build your pyramid of power.
And you have resource management, and just every element that I love is in this game. A lot of strategy. And I really, really enjoy it. Yeah,
and I think I really do enjoy this game an awful lot as well. And everybody I've taught it to enjoys it as well. Now, the only drawbacks is that there are some luck elements, luck of the draw, that could come into play. But I feel like that the game does have great balance. Well, and some of the cards are way more overpowered than other ones. But outside of that...
Which is good if you're the one who gets them.
Well, yeah, if you're the one who gets it. Outside of that, this game is a lot of fun because all you can do is just simply remove just a few cards, and really it does balance all the way across the board. You're going to find everybody just takes different approaches, and they see different things. There's so many different ways. It is a very point-salad-y game. So because of that, everybody's taking all these different ways that they're going to try to score points. But ultimately, this game is phenomenal and a lot of fun, and it's one that, personally, for me, it would easily have been in my top 10 if we did do a top 10 because it's not going to go anywhere. This one's going to stay in our collection, just like with Fallen.
Yeah, excellent, excellent game. A lot of fun and challenging.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So that's Viceroy by Mayday Games. Congratulations! Woo! So, all right, well, I would like to select the next one.
Yes.
And I would like to go with one that... Now, I know you weren't as keen on this one as I was, but I really enjoyed Cthulhu Realms by Tasty Minstrel Games. This is a somewhat of a knockoff of Star Realms, which everybody's pretty much familiar with Star Realms. That thing's been... that thing prints money anymore. But Cthulhu Realms was designed by the same designer of Star Realms, but it's more in the... Cthulhu mythos, the Lovecrafts, I'm sorry.
Lovecraft.
So you got your monsters and your locations and stuff like that, and you're sticking your monsters on one another. But I really enjoy this one a bit more than what I do with Star Realms because you feel like you start out a little bit more powerful than what you do in Star Realms, so there's not so much build up. On top of that, I love the idea of the thematic, feeling that I'm recruiting these monsters and I'm sending these monsters to attack my opponent versus, I'm just dealing with these spacecrafts of 4 different factions. Why are they working together to destroy my opponent when they're getting them? It doesn't make sense. This one's more thematic in my opinion.
Oh, so the monsters are working together because you're summoning them and that makes it more
They
thematic.
are my monsters.
My monsters. I would have to say this game, it tends to play faster, end faster than Star Realms, and I think maybe that's what kind of turns me off. It's like just as I'm starting to get into the game, it's over. But other than that, I enjoy it.
Unlike other things, people. Don't let your minds wander there like mine did, okay?
I had no idea.
No comments.
I had no idea that was why he was making that face. I was like, what?
You want to pick the next one?
I said something wrong. I'm going to pick another one of my favorites because, hey, I like that. Discoveries.
Yes.
This was excellent, and I don't know, we might want to go ahead and talk about the other games we played around the same time period or the same type of game, but I just really love, I typically don't like a racing style game, which is funny, because you aren't racing to the end in this one.
Well, we have Lewis and Clark as well in our collection still, and we don't play it very often because it is a game with
deep.
It is a very deep game, and it's very prone to AP. Because, you got to deal with the deck building, you got to deal with, the resources.
Just kind of innocently whistling over here about the AP.
But what this one did is it did give you some elements, I guess, of the Lewis and Clark, which I really wouldn't compare them.
No,
they're not the same game.
at all.
But it is still somewhat of a racing style game, but with the dice. And man, does it really work well.
It is excellent. Lining up your cards to where you're comparing the resources that you could possibly roll with your dice. You haven't rolled them yet.
Well, they're not even technically
and then you have
resources
to
as much
choose
as actions, more so like
your actions.
Walk or on foot or horseback or whatever.
You're basically kind of deck building in order to get your actions. And then once you have them, you have to determine, then what kind of path can I go through with my actions? And then you have to roll the dice and manipulate the dice. So there's a lot of elements that go into it. Yeah. But it just works together really, really well, and my mind just really gets into the game.
Yeah, and this would have been one of my top 10 if we did do a top 10 because
Definitely.
I love this game. Absolutely phenomenal experience. Let's talk. Let's stick with dice. I want to stick with dice. So, Nations the Dice game. Now, I've never played Nations the base game, even though I own it. It is sitting on my collection, but we are always playing so many new games that I never get a chance to break out the old ones. Nations the Dice game, I really enjoyed this. It's got a solo experience, which is real fun, in my opinion, to play. Yeah, it's a lucky game, and one person can get a little bit luckier than another person, but that is equivalent with every dice game, typically. But we both really enjoyed this one a lot.
I enjoy this one immensely, and, I'm thinking of some other dice games that I've played where it seems like the luck element's really high, and this is not as bad as those at all.
No.
But it's also kind of almost a combination. You're drafting cards with your dice along the way. So
tiles. I mean,
tiles.
You're getting the tiles, and the tiles will give you the ability to do other things, to feed your people and, your military and stuff like that, score the extra points.
Of course, if you want a game that's going to, be a little deeper and not just based on luck, you're going to have a combination of elements in there.
Well, that's just it. But I really like this one an awful lot.
Game.
And I love games that give you a solo play experience, and this one did. And even though, like I said, it's not a deep game, but, I don't really feel like if you're creating a dice game of anything, never make it that deep, unlike maybe the next game we're going to talk about, which is about as deep of a dice game as you should probably ever get. Let's roll into that one.
Next game. Another dice game, Roll for the Galaxy.
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun.
I love this game. I was very, very surprised, when we brought it out and Kevin taught us how to play. I wasn't expecting it to be something
Kevin,
I would enjoy.
One of the minions. Believe it or not.
He's one of our minions. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, but I really did, and I think we played it the whole night and didn't even play another game because we liked it so much.
We played it nonstop, and
we've pulled it out over and over again since then.
And this is one of those ones where it was almost a bit intimidating when you first start to learn because there are so many symbols. The game just relies on all of these symbols, and it almost feels like that you're having to learn another language as you're playing the game. But it really becomes intuitive after a while.
Yeah, that didn't turn me off. Whereas like Cthulhu realms. With their symbols kind of turns me off. This game didn't.
Yeah, go figure. A simple deck building game versus... But we really did enjoy this one an awful lot. And I never played the actual card game Race for the Galaxy. And to be honest with you, I really don't have any desire to because I just feel like that this does whatever I want it to do. And if the card game's anything like this, then I'll just stick with the the dice game.
Yeah, I mean, this game was good enough that I kind of feel like it replaced a couple of games for us, and that I don't really feel the need to pull those out anymore. I'll just go for this one.
There you go. Can you set that on your side?
Sure.
And then I'll let you pick the next one. Seems how I kind of almost hedged you into choosing that one.
I am going to pick another one of my favorites. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Elysium.
Yeah, by Space Cowboys.
Yes, this was an excellent Euro game. I just
well, set collect. More so. I wouldn't call it Euro.
Okay, well, it's a Euro set collect.
Okay, if that makes you feel good.
I love it. I'm just, yeah. I mean, if I think about it, I didn't even think of it as a set collection game, if that tells you anything,
Yeah.
It almost feels like you're building an engine rather than set collecting to me.
Well, I have officially dubbed myself the Elysium Amadeus because for some reason I never lose at this game.
See, I like the game even though I lose all the time. That's gotta tell you something.
I do not know why I do so well at this game, but man, I do, and that just for alone is why it's one of my favorite games because I never lose.
They designed the game just for Tim.
I'm like the idiot savant of Elysium. I mean, I don't know why, and I don't care what families you put in the deck. For some reason, I have not lost a single game. And I'm going all the way back to Origins, and I was playing even at Origins. And I haven't lost a game, man. But yeah, I like this one an awful lot. Now, what I like is that you have so many different families of the gods, and each one of the families does play unique and different from each other. You have Hephaestus, who's all about the gold. You have Hades, who's all about allowing you to take your, wait a minute. Yeah. Hades is the one that allows you to take extra Elysium actions. And Ares, who was the one I was starting to get screwed up with, which God of War, God of Death, whatever. Ares, who adds in the prestige points and stuff like that. So each one, and then Poseidon, who's just a flat out dick. You've got all these families. They play different and unique, and it really does make a fun experience because what you can do if you have people that don't like that, take that experience that they don't like that, take that experience. You could take out the Poseidon family, and you could add in, say like, what is her name? Hera or whatever her name is. The one with the owl. What's her name?
Athena.
Athena. Why did I say Hera? Who's Hera?
Hera is Juno, the wife of Zeus.
Well, there you go. So Athena, the owl girl, the wisdom
I'm getting
one.
confused as to whether we're supposed to use Roman and Greek names, but... It's all good, right?
It's all good. It's all good. But regardless, so you can change the game up. And then what I really like is that you could even add into the Oracle into the game, which I always recommend you play with the Oracle. So much fun. So, yeah, Elysium would have been in my top 10, which I'm probably going to say that about all 19 games. But no, this is a phenomenal game. And
during the game, basically you're engine building and working with your engine. And then at the end of the game, then your points are based on set collecting. So, nice little combination, right?
Yeah. All right, so super fun game, and I get to choose the next one, right?
No.
Well, I think you picked that one, so
whatever.
I'm going to do this little one here, if you don't mind. Arboretum. Arboretum. All right, now this was sent to us by Z-Man Games, and I know that it's very deceiving, a little card game, but you know what? We really enjoy. This was a very surprising win.
Oh, very surprising, extremely strategic game. Really gets in your head. I just love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
So basically what you're trying to do is create these rows of trees, and you want to try to get the same types of trees in the rows, and you'll score more points that way. But then at the same time, you got to have the highest card in your hand to be able to even score that type of tree.
Right.
So let's say like an oak tree or whatever. You got to have an oak tree card in your hand
At
at the end of the game to be able to even score it. So
Right.
it's very strategic. But then if you have like the 8, I think it was the 8 if I remember correctly, and if your opponent has the 1, you don't score anything. So
You're
is
sweating
so.
bullets
Oh
the
my
whole
God,
time.
you are. You really, really are. And you're trying to create these sets and these combos. But Arboretum, I mean, this is, man. I mean, it plays.
You don't want to discard the wrong thing either.
No, it plays up to 4 players. But I am going to be honest with you. This is one of the best brain burniest games that you could play. That came out in 2015, and a real surprise for us because when we first saw it. Trees on cars, whatever.
I mean, it doesn't look exciting, right?
Man, when you start playing it,
Really
it is going to
good.
blow your mind. Just like that.
Just like that.
All right, your turn.
Okay, well, I'm just going to grab the ones that are in front of me, and we'll do both of them at the same time, in a row, because they're kind of, games that, they're not really new.
Uh-huh.
This one, 7 Wonders Duel. Basically, took 7 Wonders.
Actually, it's for French, it's duel. I'm sorry.
Took 7 Wonders, made it for 2 players.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you have more to say about than that?
And I think it did its job. I really enjoy playing it. I think it's a lot more. It's simpler than playing the regular 7 Wonders game for 2 players. You don't have to pull out different rules. It's got less setup, and we can play it more than once at a time. I think we play it more often than the typical 7 Wonders game for 2 players.
Well, what I did enjoy about it was that I do like the fact that there are.
Hold it up. It disappears when you put it on the table.
There are 3 different ways to win. You could win via military, you could win science, or you could win just flat out by the most victory points at the end of the game. And I did find that aspect really neat. Now, one thing that we did find is that it did seem like that we kept winning with science.
Yes.
But I will add this, that I did teach this game to a friend of mine, and I won via military. So it is possible to win in any aspect. All of our games, though, have been cut short by either military or science. But I think that is what's kind of fun about the game, is it does put pressure on you. You're not going to necessarily be able to hedge all your bets into just, one strategy. Because once you do that, you're allowing your opponent to get away with a little too much.
And definitely not victory points, because the game never lasts that long.
Well, eventually I think it could. I think if you play smartly. But at the same time, I do agree that it is one of those games that you want to try to get it to the end game to where you could possibly win by victory points. You got to always keep that in mind, that, hey, look, if the game does end up ending without a military or a science victory, make sure you have enough victory points to win the game. But you have to make sure that you don't let your opponent get away with too much science or military. And it is very difficult to pull off, guys.
So you're balancing all of that the whole time.
And it is a fun experience. Now, I said it in the review, and I'll say it again. I do like Big Box or Big Brother 7 Wonders better than the smaller one. But I do see the value in this one because she likes it better, and we will sit down and play this one a little bit more often.
I like it better.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Next one, I thought we would talk about Pandemic Legacy, since it's kind of, a spin-off of an already established game.
There
Pandemic.
you go. Now, we've been doing several videos on this already, so if you're familiar with Pandemic, this isn't going to be too much of a leap from the normal, or is it? Because this is a phenomenal experience. I tell you what, this is one that has just been getting better and better each month that we play.
Yeah, I mean, we just did a review on this, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. And I would have to say it's like one big, long campaign. Well, it is, obviously. One big, long campaign, one big, long game. And you just can't wait to play again because you're upgrading your characters, you're getting new characters, and new events are popping up, new objectives. A lot of fun. It's surprisingly new. I mean, if you're a Pandemic fan like us, you probably, how could they possibly come up with something new this time? Well, they did it.
Yeah. And it has been a blast, and we're always holding our breath whenever we go into the next month. That, oh God, what's going to happen now? And how are we going to deal with it? Now, we've been dealing with it, but the thing about this game is that it's going to get a little bit more difficult,
and
a little bit more difficult to just see how far it can push you, and it's going to be whether or not you make good decisions. This game's Pandemic's always been a little bit luck based plus skill. And because you never know exactly when the epidemic cards are going to arrive, and that does affect your
or
gameplay.
what color countries end up in the deck.
There you go. But you know what? It's always been, in my opinion, more about good gameplay versus just flat out luck.
Especially with the campaign, because you're making decisions that
that's
are going
what I
to
was
affect
going to get at.
future rounds of the game.
And this one really rewards you for making sound, good decisions with what upgrades you go with at the end of the month, or how well you just generally play. So, Pandemic Legacy easily would have been probably my #1 game of the year if we did a typical top 10.
Wow.
Because I just feel like that all the work and effort that they poured into this to make this not just a game, but an experience, just, man, is so much fun to do.
With it being a campaign, I thought I would mention that you do have 2 chances to do the month. If you mess it up the first time, you do get another chance to do the month, which I think is very balanced, because we don't necessarily want to play the same month over and over and over, but you don't really want to just lose your first try either.
And what's great is it still rewards you even if you lose that month. So
True. Why don't we go with Warhammer Quest?
Well, how about I get to pick one instead of you just picking whatever you want?
Campaign too.
And on top of that, you just told them what we're going to go into. Fine, I'll just whatever Carmen wants today.
Yay me!
Warhammer Quest. All right.
Warhammer Quest.
Fantasy Flight Games. I have enjoyed the pants off of this game.
Yeah.
See? It doesn't even wear pants anymore. I enjoyed them right off of there.
All gone.
Well, I'll let you talk. Seems how you want to be Miss
Right.
Talkie. You want to
This is another game where you're in a campaign, and it's a role-playing game. Now, the only thing about it's not as role-play feelsy as some other games, because you don't have names for your characters. You don't really get into being that character nearly as much, I don't feel like. But I still really enjoy it a lot. It's got the cooperative play, which I really enjoy, and the fact that it is a campaign with a story and you go all the way through.
It's much like Fallen, in my opinion. The first game we talked about.
It is a lot like Fallen, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the story, but this one's not the choose your own adventure style. This is just basically you got the campaign, you win or lose. But what's neat is that you'll progress regardless. And there are different ways that you can play. You have your campaign mode and then you have your delve, which I really do enjoy both of them, but I think I enjoy the delve a little bit more. Now, one thing that's fun as well is that you can play this by yourself and you can play as all 4 characters, which I have done quite often up here when Carmen ever wants to come up and play games with me.
If I was going to compare this to a game, I would compare it to one of our favorite games of all time, Defenders of the Realm. That's what I would compare it to. That's how it feels to me. You're making decisions as to what actions you're going to take. It's a co-op game. It's very challenging to win. Yeah.
I often am amazed at some of these
comparisons
that you make. Yeah.
My brain just
So anyways, it reminds me of Sorry Sliders because, it's got all the same colors.
It just has the same feel, the same cooperative decision-making feel.
I feel like I'm knocking you off of the circle in the middle, which is combat.
Right.
But no, this is a lot of fun, guys.
It's not the same type of game. It doesn't have the same, you're rolling dice. There you go.
All right, so we'll move on to the next. Can I pick one?
No.
I'm picking this one.
Oh.
Ah! Look at it. Raptor. My gosh, we just did play this one. This was sent to us just recently, and I told Carmen, I said, before we do our final year-end video, I said I got a few games I still want us to be able to play, and 2 out of the 3 games we played made this list, or made the cut. This is one of them.
Blew me away. It looks like it's not much of a game. It looks like it's more kind of maybe childish, but it is so fun. And
it is a lot of fun.
And there is strategy that goes into it. You're choosing which card to play. So there is some luck because you draw 3 cards.
Yeah, and you could get stuck with some bone cards, but the thing about it is though is that you're going to play your cards smartly because whomever plays the highest card is going to get actions, but whoever played the lowest card gets to take the ability of the card. So there's a smart process of seeing what your opponent has played and knowing, hey, there's a good chance that they're going to play, X value cards, so now's my chance to play, Y value. So, and that's really what this game boils down to, is being smart about which cards you play at what time. It's a timing game. It really, really is. And we played a few games already. Carmen always is the Raptors. Because she won't let me be the Raptors. She never will let me beat her. I've always got to play as the scientist.
Raptors are fun.
I've won games, she's won games, so I know the game is balanced, and I'm telling you guys straight up.
It's the mama raptor. The mama raptor. You don't want to play as a mama raptor.
Nah.
I'm the mama raptor.
She ate up all my guys on the last game, and man, and what's funny was we didn't even realize that she had won right off the bat.
Right.
She had ate my last scientist on the board, and I said, and I had still scientists left, in my reserve, and I said, hey, wait a minute. I said, I think you just won because that's the last scientist on the board, and she goes, oh! And she was just all excited.
And then Mama Raptor did a little victory dance, of course.
She never lets me forget. But Raptor, this is a Madagot Games. This is a phenomenally fun game. Only 2-player. I guess you could play 4-player. I don't know how to do it. But anyways, a 2-player game. But man, super fun, guys. I really recommend you check this one out.
Fun.
All right, I'll let you, or do I get to choose again? Yes, I do, because I want to go do the War Yes! See how I did that.
I was going to wait and do that one last, but you had it on the top of the stack, so I guess I didn't have a choice.
See how that works. Well, I'll let you start. This was the second game that we played. That's the reason why I wanted to do it next.
I know.
Because we played 3 total games. We played Raptor, we played Orleans, and, another one.
This game, when we took it out of the box, I was like, oh no, it looks so complicated.
Just say OMG.
O-M glob.
Oh my glob.
Looks so complicated, but it really, you get used to it quickly, especially if you've played other Euros that involve, some type of traveling. Your armies are traveling, or,
whatever.
What is it, Village? Is that the one where you're traveling?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it reminds me of a lot of my favorite games combined together, and this was definitely a contender for the top game of the year in my mind.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100% with that.
I have 3 of them that were a contender for my top game of the year. This was one of them.
I agree 100%. This one is a lot of fun to play, and it's a bag building game, and you're going to be recruiting extra characters, putting them in the bag, trying to draw them out, and man, the way that you try to play your actions, I mean, you're always wanting to try to at least take an action per each round if you can, but at the same time, trying to stack your actions up and taking your actions at the right time could also be just as meaningful and powerful as taking them, individually one per turn. But this game, man, it really just blew me away, and it didn't blow my pants off. But it did blow me away with just how good it was, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am getting so burnt out on your atypical Euro-style games.
Anymore when we get a Euro game, we're almost groaning over it.
Yeah, we're just not really enjoying it.
This one we enjoyed so much.
And that's coming from a big time. She's more of a Euro-style gamer than what I am. I mean, I do like them, don't get me wrong.
But we already have Euro games, let's face it. And a new one comes along, it's just like the ones we already have. And I just get tired of it,
and that's me as well.
Yeah.
And so when a game like this comes out that still has that Euro vibe, but it does add new mechanics and elements that you get to really just sit down and enjoy. Not to mention, Tasty Minstrel just does a phenomenal job with their artwork and stuff, which really, in my opinion, draws you into the game. And that goes with Cthulhu Realms and Orleans. That this game just makes for a great experience that you're going to really, but whether you're playing with 2 players or 4 players, it isn't going to matter. You will enjoy this game.
I don't know how many times we played it. I do know that when
She was sad when I finally
tried to put it away, so we played new guys like, no, I want to play it again. We keep learning new strategies. One thing that you've got to keep in mind is you're building your bag. You want to get rid of some of those characters. You don't want to keep them in there. So,
it's kind of like a deck builder.
Like a deck
when you
builder
want to cull cards,
respect.
you want to
That's
cull
what I was
dice.
trying to think of. Culling
your tiles. Your people.
Your
stuff.
I know, it's not even cubes this time. I mean, come on. Stop changing stuff up on us.
And that's one thing I like, too, is they didn't go with chintzy cubes and stuff. They actually went with some really good stuff.
They actually went with pictures of people.
Pictures of people.
Makes it more thematic.
Inviting.
It really does.
I like to say inviting.
Okay.
Yeah, it works for me, too. All right. So anyways, Orleans by Tasty Minstrel. Phenomenal game, guys. This would have probably been her top game of the year, I believe. Which, it would have been a contender for me as well.
The
because
top 2 that I thought of was this one and Viceroy, just to be honest. Okay, next, let's go with Steamworks.
Well, why don't you just stop saying the name of the game before I get to pull it up here and surprise everyone?
Sorry.
You blow it. You do it every time. This is another Tasty Minstrel game, by the way. So you went too tasty in a row.
Yay!
But yeah, Steamworks by Tasty Minstrel Games. This one, once again, I'm going to stress this, that her and I have been very burnt out on your atypical Euros. This is about as worker placement as you could possibly get, but
it's fun. It's fun. You're building machines, and you get your points based off of that, and based on using the machines, and you can use your opponent's machines. So I think that's what makes it, really, really fun, is that you've got the two different elements going against each other. Do I build this machine when my opponent can use it to get all these points? It reminds me a bit of, what was that one with the octopuses?
Aquasphere.
Aquasphere. It reminds me a bit of Aquasphere. I do prefer this one, but Aquasphere was in our top games of the year last year, and this is in our top games of the year this year.
I think what I enjoy so much about this game is the building aspect, because you're only going to have so many places to place your workers. So if you don't like where the machines that are out there or the places to place your workers, make your own. And that's what you'll end up doing. You'll make your own machine. Yeah. And your own machine will perform whatever it is you decide you want it to do.
And then you can make a machine to upgrade your machines.
And that's where I think the game is just so delightful, is because it really is only limited by your own imagination of what you really want to do here. I mean, obviously, it all just comes around to victory points, so you want to make machines that are going to give you victory points. Fine, I get that. But how are you going to go about creating that machine is really what this game is so...
So it's worker placement where you are the one designing the board, basically.
Yeah, and I think that, truthfully, it's one of those ones where you're going to first, I know it was for me, when you're going to start learning, I mean, it's going to be a little uber complicated in some instances, but just trust me. Give it the time and the effort that it really, truly needs. This would have been in my top 10 games. I have no doubts about it.
Well,
because I have enjoyed this so much.
You're continually improving upon your gameplay because of the fact that it's a little more complicated.
Yeah, your first game will be rough.
It doesn't get stale.
Yeah, your first game will be rough, but after that, it gets better and better, guys. And I tell you, I absolutely love Steamworks.
All right. I'm not going to say the name of the game. I'm not going to choose it. You just do your thing.
Let's do this one right here, okay?
Right.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about this one because I did enjoy this one an awful lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean it didn't come without its flaws. The game does have a few flaws because, you do collect jewels and stuff like that, and really they don't have a whole lot of a purpose.
Bring out your dead.
Okay, Bring Out Your Dead.
We never said the name of it.
You're absolutely right, and I am sorry. Bring Out Your Dead by Upper Deck. Now, like I said, the game does have its flaws, and but what I find ultimately about the game is that I enjoy it enough that I can overlook these flaws, because it's a simple version of Revolution. If you ever played Revolution, which, wait a minute, did I say that right? Boy, I sure hope I did. Anyways, I didn't like that game. But I do like this one. It's an area control game with a bit of set collecting mixed in with it. And then it's also got where you play the cards out of your hand, and that's going to tell you what type of action that you are, kind of like a roll or action card that you can do per round. I really enjoyed the aspect of it. Now, I know the theme isn't necessarily inviting because, I mean, let's face it, you're burying coffins. But I think
it's fun.
Personally, for me, I mean, what would I rather have? Another same style game where I'm dealing with, overthrowing the government? Or do I want to just bury some coffins and just go for some area control? I like the idea that they went with something a little bit different personally, and I've enjoyed the game.
What does the set collecting have to do with it? Are we grave robbers?
Well, yeah, basically.
We take the jewelry off the bodies and then bury them. That's real nice.
That's basically the way I would look at it, yeah. But ultimately, I've taught it to my friends. We've all enjoyed it for the most part. I don't think that there's any aspect of it where I've said, oh, God, that's just horribly broken. Mm-hmm. The rules are a little bit difficult to understand. Left out some. Some of it is common sense. Some of it most should have been in there. Let's be honest. But I just found that this game, to me, was one of those experiences where it really does come more alive with more players, because then the spots get more limited. But it's one of those ones that every time I've played it, I've just really wanted to set it up and play it again.
Fun, light area control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it does exactly what it was meant to do. It's just that I think a lot of people don't give it the time of day because the theme isn't necessarily family friendly, because it's not, colorful or whatnot. It's more dark, dealing with burying coffins.
Kids love dead things. Seriously. Monster High dolls? I mean, come on. love dead things.
So bring out your dead
Get it
by
for your
Upper
family.
This would not have made my
I'll
top
put
10.
it down over here.
This would not have made my top 10 of the year, but I still think it is one of the ones that I enjoyed enough that I wanted to talk about it in this video. So, all right, Carmen, we've got 4 more to select here from. I will let you pick the next one.
Another game that the family enjoyed.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mysterium.
Yeah, can't go without our. This would have been in both of our top 10s, no doubt about it. But Mysterium is a wow. Go ahead, man. We really enjoyed this one an awful lot.
This one does not have a category. I mean, it is completely unique, very abstract. The ghost is choosing cards that is going to point you to the criminal. But you don't know, the ghost, isn't all there. The ghost needs help from, mediums. And so basically it's very abstract because you're basing your guesses off of the cards that you're being given. And it could be maybe the color of the card or something, an element in the card like an anchor or candles. And you have to choose which occupation basically the person, the criminal had. Mm-hmm. You have to choose the location. And then finally a weapon, which makes it sound like Clue, but it's really nothing like Clue.
It's Clue on steroids is what it is.
Nothing like
But
Clue.
the fun part is the ghost is never allowed to talk. So they're just handing you these cards, and then you're using these cards to say, okay, well, I see things in this card, in this picture on this card, that make me think maybe they're wanting me to, point towards a doctor. Or maybe a school teacher or whatever. But the point is that, that's the trick of it, is to try to make you... The ghost has the biggest responsibility of this game, to try to guide all the mediums successfully through, the person, the place, and the object. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately has to get all the people to agree upon, who it was that actually committed this murder.
The ghost is very amused the entire time because, the team is discussing what the cards should mean.
Either amused or very frustrated.
Maybe a little of both. And the ghost is sitting there listening to all this, being like, oh, you couldn't be more wrong.
But what's great is that as the mediums are conversing with one another, they could say, well, here's what I'm seeing and stuff like that, and that does help the ghost to be able to say, okay,
the ghost
maybe you're not going to...
Yeah,
maybe you're not going to get it right this round, but because you saw that, I'm going to use this card now to help guide you towards that direction.
Right.
So, Mysterium is one of those ones, as a family game, even as a game for adults to sit around and play, you are going to flat out enjoy this experience because we've played this with our game group, we've played this as the family. Everybody has been blown away by Mysterium, so highly recommend you pick this one up.
Excellent and completely different.
There you go. Excellent and completely different.
Yes.
I'll let you pick the next one.
Okay, next one we will go with Barony.
Yeah, see, you did it again. Yeah.
I
Say it before you put it on camera.
Why is that a problem?
It's not really a problem. It's just something I'd like to talk about.
I'm sorry.
It's just something. This one. This is Madagot as well.
Oh,
okay, so this is Madagot as well. Asmodee, yes. Mm-hmm. Asmodee owns it. Look, you might as well say that. Everybody's owned by Asmodee, okay? So, no matter what I say, who designed it? Asmodee. That's who designed it. But Barony, by Madagot Games. This one I was a little bit surprised about. Now, I know when I initially saw it, it immediately interested me because I loved the little pieces, the little knights and the horses. I thought they were cute. But this is an abstract game with area control elements in it. And you're trying to expand your kingdom via your knights. You got a little bit of skirmish, a little bit of combat. But it's that very slow-moving combat. Like, I'm going to get you.
Abstract strategy with combat added to it, basically, is how I would describe this game. And I don't typically like skirmish, but I think it's balanced, and I enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you're not as high on this one as what I am.
I'm not as high on this one as Tim. We played another abstract strategy type game, Samurai. I prefer Samurai to this one.
Right, so if you're going to go abstract, she'll go Samurai, but I would go Barony just because I feel like that there's a lot more to do in this one.
There is.
Plus, there's cute little knight pieces. How could you go... No, but I like this one an awful lot. It's all about expanding your kingdom and trying to score the most victory points and becoming the Baron, I guess, before anybody else. But ultimately, I thought this was an absolute win, and I'm kind of shocked that this hasn't received more attention than what it has, because I mean, I think it's a really, really good game with a lot of meaningful and deep decisions.
And it's not just another hero.
Well, and it's going to reward you and it's going to punish you based upon good gameplay. It's never going to be about luck, and that's what I enjoy so much about the game. So, all right, so we got 2 more here, guys. So we're going to go. Say it now.
Shakespeare.
All right, there we go. See how I didn't say it before I pulled it up?
Yay me!
Shakespeare, and of course, who's it? Who's it by?
Is it?
It is Asmodee. That's right, but it's just Yustari.
Uh-huh.
I always like to say Usari games. But Shakespeare, man, wow, what a great little game. Because I tell you what, the Shakespeare, if you're going to do a theme on Shakespeare, man, that could be real tricky. I mean, that's not necessarily something that instantly jumps out to say, oh, we're going to build make a game designed around, the plays of Shakespeare. Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, how you do it is that you hire actors and actresses and you make their costumes.
Yeah, well, and then you perform the actual plays.
And you build your stage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
Exactly.
It's a really fun game, very enjoyable. And like she said, you're trying to hire the actors, but you don't want to get too many because then you got to pay them at the end of the game. And if you can't, you get penalized. You want to build your sets. You want to build their costumes. And if you put their costumes on them, the actors are going to reward you, and they're going to perform additional actions. And
they don't like
for
performing
you.
naked, apparently.
Ooh,
I mean, they still benefit you if you make them, but
That's really
just
ridiculous.
Not as much.
Who's not more comfortable naked? That's all I'm going to say.
They
right?
like having their costumes, and there's a
really.
bit of tile laying because you're building your set in the middle. So it combines different aspects.
Yeah, I think this is a phenomenal game. It's one of those ones that, like I said, this one really surprised me. I didn't really expect much out of it. But at the same time, when I did play it, I was absolutely delighted. But yeah, Shakespeare by Asmodee.
It wouldn't have made my top 10, but it is a game worth mentioning.
It would have mine. Yep.
Oh,
one more game to talk about. So here we go! Legendary Encounters by Upper Deck. This is the Predator version. Now, we had the Alien version last year. And before I talk too much about this one, just know, I will just say this. I do still like the Alien version better. And that has nothing to do with the mechanics. Because this one mechanically is more sound than the Alien. Yeah. It's just because I like Alien better. Okay? That's all it boils down to.
That was my thoughts exactly, to tell you the truth.
But let's talk about this one, because what they have done with this system is that every time they release something new for Legendary, it seems like that they just keep improving upon what they've already built. This is no different. When they created Legendary, we all loved it, fell in love with Marvel, blah, blah, blah. We all saw its flaws. But then as expansions released, it got a little bit better. Then they switched over to the Legendary Encounters, and in my mind, absolutely blew me away with the Aliens Legendary Encounter system. To me, just one of the absolute, hands-down, best deck building games, if not the best deck building game currently on the market. Then now they come out with the Predator version. What this has done is it's brought in a few more elements that I really felt like has even improved upon the Alien version by giving you the ability to not only fight one another because you're going for that honor as a predator, but you also still get to play as the humans trying to defeat the predators, just like what they did in the movies. So you've got 2 different ways you could play, plus now you can also play as the predators versus the aliens, which I've done that, and I tell you, it plays seamlessly. Great, phenomenal experience. This is a wonderful game. And if you love Legendary, I just can't even recommend that this game enough, because it's going to give you that Legendary experience, but it's going to give you more, in my opinion, theme and decisions than what you're going to get out of the base Marvel sets.
You just cannot get more theme out of a deck builder. I mean, it's just still so surprising that they have come up with this, to be honest. And it just improves with each new release.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I love this one a lot, guys. I can't speak enough about these encounters that they keep coming up with from the Legendary system. But, man, if you don't own these, I don't really know what to tell you. But you should go out and buy them.
Right.
All right, that's it, guys. So that wraps up 2015. These were our top games that we enjoyed. Of course, we didn't play every single one of them, nor do we own all of them. Like Forbidden Stars, I probably would have mentioned that if I had the box here to hold up. I don't own that, even though I played it and I enjoyed it immensely. It's a great game. And then there's some others as well, but you know what? I think we've ran long enough as
Excellent
it is.
year, excellent
Yes.
games. We enjoyed so much, and talk to us about it.
Yeah, what did you guys enjoy the most out of this year, and what do you look forward to 2016? Now, talk a little bit about what to expect from our channel. We are going to go back to doing a few episodes where we're just going to sit and talk about some of our favorite games or whatnot.
What you want us to talk about.
Yeah, give us some topics of ideas of what you guys want to see from our channel. Look for some more live plays. We do have Raptor. It's going to be coming up soon because she's chomping at the bit. She wants to play some Raptor live on camera and eat my scientists.
But if I don't win, we're going to have to refilm.
Until she wins. Plus, we will have Orleans coming up as well here real soon. And also, we will have a few Kickstarters that we're going to be doing for a few select publishers. So, all right, guys. 2015 was a phenomenal year, and we look forward to 2016 with bated breath. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.